It's time for another real estate market update, and this time we're talking about the numbers for March 2023, and we're going to get started right now. What's up, and welcome back to All Things Tennessee with me, Ben Barreto, your local real estate pro and relocation expert for East Tennessee. Today we're going to discuss the real estate market numbers for the month of March 2023. And as always, we're going to start with the U.S. numbers, or the nation's numbers as a whole, and then we're going to talk about the Knoxville numbers more specifically. So other than a minor slowdown in growth, which are all signs of a market slightly adjusting towards a softer, more buyer-friendly market, not a whole lot has changed since our last market update video together. As far as active listings goes, inventory growth has slowed down while fewer sellers have listed their homes compared to last year. There were 59.9% more homes for sale in March compared to the same time in 2022. So this does mean that there were 211,000 more homes available to buy this past month compared to a year ago. But the growth rate in inventory began to slow slightly as fewer sellers opted to list their homes for sale. This means that there were fewer homes available to buy overall on a typical day in March than there were a few years ago. And when I say a few years, I mean pre-pandemic. The total number of homes for sale, including homes that were under contract but not yet sold, increased by 9.3% compared to last year. Growth decelerated from last month's 13.3% growth rate as fewer potential sellers listed homes, and the growth rate in the total number of homes for sale also remains lower than active inventory because there were still fewer homes under contract than there were this time last year. The number of homes under contract or pending declined by 24.5% compared to the same time last year. This is similar to February's 24.7% decline, which could mean that the housing market is starting to stabilize at a relatively low level of existing home sales activity. Nevertheless, mortgage rates are expected to remain elevated in the near-term period. In March, the number of homes newly listed, or that just hit the market, declined by 20% compared to the same time last year. This is a higher rate of decline than last month's 15.9% decrease, and new listings remain 29.7% below pre-pandemic levels. In February, home selling sentiment declined due to declining price expectations, and it remained well below last year's levels. Now let's talk about the average days on market nationwide. Homes are taking longer to sell, but not as long as pre-pandemic levels. The typical home spent 54 days on the market this March, which is 18 days longer than the same time last year. Slower inventory turnover was primarily fueling the growth in actively listed homes, but homes still spent 15 fewer days on the market this March than they did in the average Marches from 2017 to 2019. Listing price growth continued to decline in March nationwide. The national median list price grew $424,000 in March, up from $415,000 in February. However, it was still down from a record high of $449,000 in June, which is a 5.6% decrease. This median list price represented a yearly growth rate of 6.3%, which is lower than the February 7.8% growth rate, and the lowest rate of growth since June of 2020 in the early months of COVID-19. At this rate of slowing, list prices are likely to decline relative to the previous years by summertime, but the national median sales price has already declined on an annual basis for the first time in over 10 years in February, and that was by 0.2%. Now, this is not the case for the Knoxville market, and we'll get into that. Before jumping into the Knoxville numbers though, be sure to check out last week's video where I tell sellers exactly why it's wrong to price a home based on a Zestimate from Zillow. You could check that video out by clicking right here or following a link in the description. And also, make sure to give this video a like and a subscribe. It really helps out my channel, and I really appreciate it. And as always, if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in Knoxville, Tennessee, Knox County, or surrounding counties, basically in East Tennessee, then don't hesitate to give me a call. I'd love to sit down and talk to you about your goals and to show you exactly how I can help. Alright, let's jump into my favorite numbers, and that's Knoxville, Knox County, and the Knoxville Area Association of Realtors MLS numbers. And numbers from the local MLSs around Knoxville. But CAR, or Knoxville Area Association of Realtors, is the biggest one in the area. As a general overview of the Knoxville market, we are seeing a very competitive seller's market still. On average, homes are receiving at least 2 offers and generally sell on an average of 30 days. That's from day 1 active to the closing table. The median sales price is $306,000 and the median sales price per square foot is $200. So let's get into the details. First up, new listings. Spring has sprung and we're seeing a big uptick in the number of new listings hitting the market. This is welcome news to buyers who have spent the cold winters with little to choose from and starting to feel a little bit like everything is hopeless. We're right at the 2021 levels, although the rest of this video will prove to anyone that we are still very much in need of inventory. And with that said, let's talk about active listings. The number of active listings is up a little bit from February, which is a typical trend, but the good news is for buyers is that so far this year there have been more options for buyers than in the past 2 years. The numbers are higher this March than in relative years. However, we still have not returned to a balanced amount. Based on our current rate of sales, having around 10,000 more listings available to buyers would be about right. And as it stands now, we're just about a little bit over half of that amount. So in short, there's really just 1 house for every 2 buyers in the market. Alright, next up is sales pending or pending sales. Based on my brokerage's experience, we have felt that there is a huge difference in the number of pending contracts. But as you can see in the chart, it's historical norms and is almost directly in line with 2018 and 2019. Again, is that what we mean when we say the market is normalizing? Basically. If you discount 2020, starting around where COVID shut everything down, and you discount 2021 and 2022, when we had a mass migration coming in directly tied to COVID, then you'll see we're tracking right in line with the start of other spring seasons in the past. Alright, we are looking at closed units next, and here we are looking normal again in closed units. In fact, March of 2018 looked pretty much identical to March 2023. So while it may feel like things have slowed compared to the spikes that we had in the past 2 years, it's really just an unremarkable statistic and very similar to past years. Alright, one of my favorite numbers is supply, and we've kind of been hitting on that all this time. More listings hit the market, but closings also went up, which resulted in a seasonal trend of our months of supply going down. If history repeats itself, we should level out as the sales season continues. Alright, let's talk real numbers that mean most to homeowners today, and that's the median sales price. Predictions were that in 2023 we'd see a price increase of 5% by the time all is said and done. And right now that's looking pretty accurate, as this is the highest price point for any previous March, including those years that we were super hot and active. It's still a seller's market, very much so. Earth to sellers, seller's market. We want your houses, get lots of money, call Ben. Alright, my other favorite number, and that's average days on market. We seem to be hovering somewhere in the middle of our trend lines, not at our fastest rate of sale, but also not at our slowest. We're at about an average of 40 days on the market that's active to the closing table, which is still pretty fast when compared to the months we consider to be normal before COVID. Now, again, 40 days, so that means the average house is going under contract, getting an acceptable offer in an average of 10 days. Alright everybody, that's it for this market update video, and I'm glad to shut that down. I'm sorry we're a little bit behind on these videos, but we're going through a big change here at Wallace Real Estate, and I hope you stick around to see more to come. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for stopping by. I always love your support. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.